What's good? What's going on, man? It's your boy B. We back at it, boy. What it up, vid, man? We got Wild Michael Jordan. Hated Jerry Krause. I think that's how you say his last name. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, man. But anyways, man, go check this video out. This video was made by my man's Nonstop, so y'all be sure to go over there, check him out. He got some dope content over there, man. But with that being said, it's hot right into. You guys enjoy the video, enjoy the reaction. Like video. Sub up, turn noties on, man. Let's do
I
it.
sincerely believe that organizations as a whole win.
Jerry Krause, the Bulls general manager, says, quote, organizations win titles, not players, end quote.
Have a sense of respect for the people who've laid the groundwork so that you could be a profitable organization.
Michael Jordan hated Bulls general manager Jerry Krause so much he nearly left Chicago and blamed him for blowing up the Bulls in 1998.
Damn.
But why did Jordan dislike his GM so much, even after they won 6 championships together? This is the complete story of the beef between MJ and one of the most successful general managers of all time. Jerry Krause was a scouting legend. He was the first and only executive in 2 different sports, having dual careers.
I ain't gonna lie, Jerry been eating good, man. You know, I ain't a little heavyweight out there. Yeah.
They won 6 championships together.
Eating good.
This is the complete
Big
story of the
checks
beef
coming
between
in.
MJ and one of the most successful general managers of all time.
He happy like he just came
Jerry
from, like,
Krause
Pizza
was
Hut
a
or
scouting
something.
legend. He was the first and only executive in 2 different sports, having dual careers in basketball and baseball. Jerry's NBA career started in the 1960s as a scout for the Baltimore Bullets, and Krause immediately made a name for himself. In 1965,
The Baltimore Bullets. It's like the Washington Wizards. That was called the Bullets back then?
out for the Baltimore Bullets, and Krause immediately made a name for himself. In 1965 and 1967, Krause found 2 future Hall of Famers from low division programs in Jerry Sloan and Earl the Pearl Monroe. After Baltimore, Krause worked as a scout for the Suns, 76ers, Lakers, and Bulls throughout the 70s and 80s. During that time, Krause was a baseball scout for the Cleveland Indians, the Oakland A's, the Seattle Mariners, and the Chicago White Sox. Krause
I know I'm pausing a lot, but like I ain't gonna lie, I gotta say this, bro. That is like one of the toughest, and I hate that they got rid of, you know what I'm saying, due to, I guess, the Indians felt like it was like discrimination or something, I don't know.
Scout for the Cleveland
Indians. That's like one of the hardest logos you can ever find, like on a hat right there. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple. I got some baseball hats, man. But that right there, that's the toughest one, bro. Like the 50s, where my 50s at? We got 50s out. We got these. We got this one. Hold on, man. Oh, then bear with me, cuz. Bear with me, man. Hell, my damn. That's it, man. Bro. There you go, I got it. Alright, real quick. We're gonna go through like a little. You feel free to skip ahead, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's just me doing what btwice do. You know what I'm saying? But like, so here, San Francisco joint right here. You know what I'm saying? Tough hat, clean. I wish I had that logo right there though. And then we got the Pittsburgh right here. Bam, with the side patch on that mug. I need to get one of them hats right there though. And these right here, they're just plain. Like the Marines ones, they just mentioned earlier. We got the Baltimore right here. And this Pittsburgh right here as well. Another P hat, bro. All these pretty much the same. We got the Red Sox. I don't even know who these is. That's Seattle right there. And then one of my favorites. One of my favorites with the side patch, man. The U.S. side patch right there. That's tough. That's tough. But anyways, man, I love baseball caps, man. Y'all link some like fire baseball caps down below. Fitteds, preferably like, yeah, we can do fitteds. Do fitteds or snapbacks. Either or works. Preferably fitteds though. I ain't even show. Did I show you all my other ones? Hold on. Here go the fitted jumps right here. My fault.
Come on now, dog.
I forgot I had these.
Come on, man.
Fitteds right here with the side patch on them. Bam. This one right here ain't got no side patch though. It's the socks. And then one of my favorites right here, Chicago Bears. Tough side patch right there, the 1990. I wanted one with the 95 up there, but yeah, what it is. This one right here, tough hat, side patch, that pink on the brim right there. Yeah, I got to get one with that logo though. I think that's mandatory, man.
Indians, the Oakland A's, the Seattle Mariners, and the Chicago White Sox. Krause was often viewed as the hardest working scout in sports, a guy who spent all of his time watching ball players and evaluating talent. In 1985, after the Chicago White Sox owner Jerry Reinsdorf also bought the Chicago Bulls, he plucked Krause from the White Sox staff and handpicked him to become the new general manager of the Bulls. Despite his experience, Krause had an extremely tough challenge ahead. What Krause inherited was Michael Jordan and the flying cocaine circus that were the majority of his teammates.
Cocaine
the Bulls
circus.
sucked with 4 consecutive losing seasons and a 38-44 record in Jordan's rookie season.
Damn.
However, the first move Krause made wasn't to draft any player, but a coach. Jerry hired Tex Winter as an assistant coach because he wanted Winter to teach the Bulls the infamous triangle offense.
The first person we hired was Tex Winter. He's a brilliant man, the finest offensive mind in basketball.
He then signed John Paxson and traded for Charles Oakley, who would both prove to be extremely important figures for the Bulls and Michael Jordan. But as soon
So this guy came from being a baseball manager for 4 teams to the NBA being the GM.
soon as Krause's first season as GM started, the problems did too. Jordan
That's crazy.
broke his ankle in the 3rd game of the 1986 season and was ruled out for several months. As stubborn as Jordan was, he was soon playing pickup games in North Carolina, while the Bulls' doctor said he still faced a great risk of re-injuring his foot. So when Michael returned to the lineup, Krause limited his minutes, making him play just 7.5 minutes per half, carrying a stopwatch and signaling to the coaches when to sub him out. Jordan was pissed by not playing and confronted Krause about his playing time. "I'm the only person in the NBA who has ever told him no. This kid has had his butt kissed by everybody in the world except his parents and me. My goal is not to be his friend. My goal is to win titles." Jerry Krause. But Krause sticking to the doctor's orders and making Jordan play limited minutes was not the real problem. For Jordan, it wasn't just what Krause said, it was also the way he said it. "Your Bulls property
come on,
now,
Jordan.
and we tell you what to do." Krause. To
It's always how somebody says something, but it's not the message being how you say it, man. How you say it. It really doesn't matter how somebody says it, man. It is what it is. You got to understand that you work for somebody else. Even though you're in the NBA, you playing like your dream, you know what I'm saying? Your dream sport. Your dream sport is your dream job or whatnot. It's like, that's tough right there. Be thankful, man.
The Bulls GM
Well, he
showed
was
up
young,
to a
though.
team meeting about Jordan and his playing time with a tape recorder, where Jordan felt betrayed and completely lost trust in Krause. "I was a
Dang.
young, enthusiastic kid, and that just made me realize this was a business, not a game. We never hit it off after that." Jordan. After that season ended, it was time for the 1986 draft,
tape
where the
recorder.
beef between Krause and Jordan got even worse. Krause planned on selecting forward Brad Sellers in the draft. Jordan, on the other hand, pushed management to take Johnny Dawkins, a two-way guard from Duke. Krause told everybody that he would draft Dawkins, but on the day of the draft, he picked Sellers anyway. Jordan was livid, and he made Sellers' life hell in practice, going mercilessly at the poor guy just because he was Krause's pick. But the very next year, in the 1987 NBA draft, Krause showed why he was the right man for the job. While the rest of the GMs didn't bother finding talent in Division III universities, Krause's specialty was believing in underdogs, because he was an underdog all his life. Jerry Krause was the only NBA executive who scouted Scottie Pippen from the small University of Central Arkansas. When I first saw Scottie play, I almost had an orgasm, Krause said.
Whoa.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
What?
Bruh. Hey, but that got some truth to it though, because like the people that really be at like the JUCO or like the small colleges, they really be they be about better than some of the people that actually go to these universities, man. Underdogs for a reason. The people they wanted more. You know what I'm saying? So if they get that opportunity, they're gonna be more hungry. And that's how he was probably looking at the whole situation. That's how I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know in the comments.
Seattle Supersonics select Scott Pippen of Central Arkansas.
Krause was devastated when the Seattle Supersonics drafted Pippen 5th. But then he traded the 8th pick in the draft, Olden Polynice, and future assets to get Scotty.
Technically, the Seattle club took him for us, and
Wow.
then we acquired him.
Krause also drafted Horace Grant, another future cornerstone of the franchise, thus completing one of the best drafts ever by an NBA GM. While Jordan couldn't be unhappy with Jerry's choices, Krause soon gave him another reason to hate him. In the 1988 season, the Bulls GM traded Charles Oakley to the Knicks for an experienced center, Bill Cartwright. Oakley was Jordan's best friend on the team and his protector on the court, especially against the bad boy Pistons. Although Cartwright did not have Oakley's toughness and rebounding, he was a more well-rounded scorer and playmaker, and was precisely what the Bulls needed. Jordan despised the Oakley trade, not only because he lost his best friend, but also because of how he and Oak found out on TV.
tough.
Around that time, Jordan started openly mocking Krause in front of teammates and the media. He and Oakley nicknamed him Crumbs because of his size, and after they'd seen him with crumbs of food on his shirt. When Michael came across
Hey,
Krause
he's a
in the
heavy
hallway,
set.
he didn't say hello to him and kept trash-talking him directly and indirectly. In 1989, after the Bulls lost another playoff battle with the Pistons, Krause fired head coach Doug Collins, which was another move Jordan hated because he had a great relationship with Collins.
Now, if you're getting ready for work right now, then you're probably not Doug Collins. Chicago Bulls head coach was fired in a surprise move yesterday.
MJ rightfully felt he was the best player in the NBA and believed he should have some leverage with management decisions. So Michael went to the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, with the ultimatum, him or me, wanting Krause fired. However, Reinsdorf believed in Krause and asked Jordan to be patient. Phil Jackson became the next Bulls coach,
He gotta
despite
go,
having
you know.
zero experience as an NBA head coach. Jackson previously coached the minor league Albany Patroons and a pair of teams in Puerto Rico, with NBA teams refusing to take a chance on him, largely because of his hippie clothes and offbeat principles. In 1987, when Jackson was considering filing for unemployment or going back to law school, he reached out to Krause as a last-ditch effort to keep his coaching dream alive. Krause hired him as an assistant. Because Phil was willing to implement the triangle offense and get the ball out of Jordan's hands, Krause believed he was the perfect man for the job. It's safe to say that Jackson would never become an NBA coach if it weren't for Krause, something that would later ruin their relationship. But at first, Phil and Jerry had an excellent partnership, especially because the Bulls started winning. In Phil's second season as a head coach, the Bulls finished with the best record in the NBA.
Hold on, bro. Something just hit me, dog. How did he do this edit?
If it weren't for Krause, something that would later
Unless this is like a video or something, and then he just walked up.
ruin their relationship.
tough
But
edit.
at first, Phil and Jerry had an excellent partnership, especially because the
Photoshop or
Bulls
whatever.
started winning. In Phil's second season as a head coach, the Bulls finished with the best record in the NBA, and they finally got over the Pistons hump. And then in the
Yeah,
NBA
Pistons play
Finals,
dirty,
they
man.
defeated the Lakers for their first NBA title. Aside from Jordan, all Bulls players were drafted or acquired by Krause, proving his decision-making and roster building to be successful. The very next year, in 1992, the Bulls won the title again, but Jordan's beef with Krause was still going strong.
Can't smoke it.
After the season, Michael and Scotty were part of the Dream Team at the Olympics in Barcelona. And while the rest of the team only had one goal, to win a gold medal, Pippen and Jordan had ulterior motives. They wanted to destroy Tony Kukoc. Kukoc was drafted by the Bulls in 1990, but he chose to stay in Europe where he kept winning EuroLeague titles. And before the Olympics, Krause kept raving about Kukoc and his skills, which pissed off Jordan and Pippen. Because they felt Kukoc was Krause's boy, they wanted to annihilate him. With an angry Jordan and Pippen guarding him, Kukoc finished the game with just 4 points on 2 for 11 shooting and 7 turnovers. After the Olympics in 1993, the Bulls won their third consecutive championship.
Three-time NBA World Champion Chicago Bulls. Congratulations. It's a great accomplishment.
After which, Jordan retired and joined a minor league baseball team. Kukoc joined the Bulls after he left and immediately proved that Krause was right once again. Krause also added Steve Kerr to the team, who had been looked over by every GM in the NBA because of his size. But Krause rightfully believed that he was the best shooter in the league. In
Bro, Krause is actually making some fire moves, bro. He started the Bulls getting championships, bro. Like, We got to give him his respect.
In 1994, Krause traded for another virtual nobody in Luke Longley and signed unrestricted free agent Ron Harper, both of which proved to be huge additions to the Bulls. Jordan returned in 1995.
Superstar Michael Jordan is back in the game, and he'll play with the Bulls later today.
But because of the departure of Horace Grant, Chicago had no interior presence and lost to Shaq and Orlando in the second round of the 95 playoffs.
Damn.
Next season, Krause decided to battle that problem by trading for Dennis Rodman, who was unwanted by most of the NBA due to his volatile behavior.
The Bulls announced the acquisition of a player many people consider the most controversial basketball star in the NBA.
And once again, Krause was right. Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Kukoc, Harper, Kerr, and Longley won an NBA record 72 games in the regular season, and then dominated the playoffs to win their fourth NBA championship. In 1997, Chicago won again, and up until then, Krause's moves almost always panned out and made the team better. But then the real problems started, and the Bulls GM made his first big mistake. Krause's relationship with Phil Jackson deteriorated. Jerry was mad at Phil for not defending him when Michael trash-talked Krause in front of everybody. Krause was a guy who believed in loyalty, and who believed that Phil
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So he said Krause got mad because Phil didn't take up for him after Michael Jordan trash talked him?
His first big mistake. Krause's relationship with Phil Jackson deteriorated. Jerry was mad at Phil for not defending him when Michael trash-talked Krause in front of everybody. Krause was a guy who believed in loyalty, and who believed that Phil owed him everything since he gave him the Bulls job. And when Jackson laughed at one of Jordan's jokes about Krause, Jerry was disgusted with Phil. Krause wanted to replace Jackson after 1997.
This will be Phil's last year as the coach of the Bulls.
Nice.
At the conclusion of the year, we'll look towards the future.
But then the
Come on, gang. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it business, man. You don't got emotional on us, bro. It been business this whole time. He done got emotional on us.
owner Reinsdorf intervened, and Krause reluctantly offered Phil an extension, but only for 1 year.
Bulls owner Jerry Reinsdorf has finally come to his senses, signing Phil Jackson to a 1-year deal to return as coach next season.
Before the start of the 98 season, Krause told the media that he didn't care if the Bulls won 82 games and the title, that Phil Jackson would not return as head coach. Krause also made a remark about his impact on the team, famously saying,
I do sincerely believe that organizations as a whole win.
This statement particularly made Jordan angry because he was the one scoring all the points, while this 5'6", 220-pound guy never even played basketball. On top of the problems he had with MJ and Phil, Krause also had to deal with Pippen. In 1991, after their first championship, Scottie signed a 7-year deal worth $19 million, about $2.7 million per year. While the Bulls were winning their titles, Pippen was not even among the 100 highest-paid players in the NBA.
Pippen is as underpaid gets, only the 122nd highest-paid player in the league.
Scottie was extremely disappointed and wanted.
Yo, shouldn't they all be like, you got a whole bunch of GOATs on your team, or was Scottie Pippen like just a role player? And if he's just a role player, then you know what I'm saying, you gotta understand that. But like, if he's a key asset on the team, like Jordan and Scottie, remember, you gotta
winning their titles. Pippen was not even among the 100 highest-paid players in the NBA.
Pippen is as underpaid gets, only the 122nd highest-paid player in the league.
Scottie was extremely disappointed and wanted a big raise, but Krause didn't want to give it to him. So Scottie boycotted the start of the 98 season, opting to rehab a foot injury at the start of the season and not during the summer.
Pippen is now demanding a trade, and he says he will not return from the injured list until he is gone from Chicago.
Throughout that season, Jordan kept saying that he'd retire if Jackson wasn't the head coach of the Bulls, and that he wouldn't play for anybody else.
As it may be, I have choices, and I will not choose to play for another coach.
Despite all the turmoil, the Bulls still managed to win the 98 championship, highlighted by Jordan's shot over Byron Russell.
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
14 zone.
However, Krause kept his promise, and Jackson was gone.
Phil Jackson cleaned out his office at the Chicago Bulls practice facility and made it official. After 9 years and 6 NBA titles, he is done as the Bulls coach.
And so was Michael, who retired for the second time. In the Last Dance documentary, Jordan heavily criticized Krause for blowing up the Bulls, feeling that they had another championship run in them.
We're entitled to defend what we have until we lose it.
In the documentary, Krause was never complimented for building a championship roster and finding talent where others didn't. In 2009, during his Hall of Fame speech, Jordan again reiterated how much he hated Krause and never thanked him for helping the Bulls win.
You know, Jerry Krause is right there, and Jerry's not here. I don't know who invited him. I didn't.
In all honesty, this was very unfair. But hey, that's MJ.
Come on now, dog.
I don't know who invited
Come
him.
on, man.
That is stupid, bro. That's tough. Nah, MJ cold-hearted.
For you. While Krause definitely had his flaws, especially his people skills and dealing with the media, it's undeniable that he was one of the best general managers in NBA history. Dynasties can't happen without great scouting and team-friendly contracts. Without Pippen, Rodman, Kukoc, and others, MJ would still be a great player, but he probably wouldn't have 6 rings.
That's a fact. That's dope right there. I ain't even gonna like that. I like that. If y'all want me to check out any one of these other videos right here, we got Pittman versus Jordan, the saddest beef in NBA history. And you also got was LeBron robbed of the greatest season ever. Y'all want me to check out either one of those videos, y'all let me know down below in the comments, and y'all know I got you, man. With that being said, appreciate the love and support.
Shit like that.
Appreciate the love and support, man. Y'all be sure to check out one of the videos at the end of the screen if you made it this far. And I catch y'all next vid, man. I'm up out of here.